but it's very skeleton. Yeah, and I think, I mean, I'm no like, I don't know classical theory and all that, so it might be really dodgy. It actually is pretty dodgy, but it's a bare minimum. It's a sketch, and I like to send these sketches over to people that actually know what they're doing, and you know, they can fix it up and touch it up and give me a couple of constructive advice to doing what and where. I just know the feeling. So a lot of times when I make songs, I don't know theory. I know jack shit about theory. I really have like 0 sense in theory, but I do know by ear, and I know how it should feel, if that makes any sense. So I usually go about how it feels and how like the next moment should sound. I like building up, I like progression, and it has been something that is probably inspired from a lot of my love for movies, musicals, theatre. How about a guitar riff in there? Yeah, I can imagine that. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things that progressive music could definitely add to, just because layering is something that I love doing. Somebody says they're from India. Hello, welcome from India. The red ring is so pretty. Thank you. I'm by far not a genius. I would not put myself in that category of a genius, not at all. But I will say, I love expression, whether that be through music, video, or whatever, you name it. I do love just the form of art and expression, and my face is turning blush red. That's Ted. But I'm far from being a genius. I just put in a lot of time, and this is all I do. Like if this is all you do in your life, then I'm sure you know it would come to a caliber of this. But yeah, it's something that I just love doing, and I love making it for you guys. So as said, today is going to be a special live, just because it's something that I feel like I don't really get the time, and I don't really get the moments to be able to share it with you guys enough. So I do want to take this moment out and just kind of share with you my process, especially like people who are asking, like what about Maito? Like where was the inspiration for that? And honestly, it's real life. Like people that come across me for the first time, they don't really understand sometimes that the things that they see and the things that I share for them to see are a real part of my life. Sometimes it's just not a concept, but it's absolutely fine when people conceptualize it, because how will they have any idea of knowing if that was related commonly and to an extent of like a reality of mine. The whole aim, I want people to understand the whole aim of why I do art and why I express it and why it's so closely touched upon with my reality. It's not for them to take it as my reality, but it's more for them to take it in a way where they can absolutely see it not for what it is. Does that make sense? I don't want people to look at it and say, oh, like this guy is struggling and this guy's like, I admire the fact that people respect and understand the boundaries of what I do and what I create means to me. But at the end of the day, I want people to just take it for however they want to take it. 나도 보고 싶어. And you know, sometimes that means, a lot of the times that also means that they will not understand to the full extent of what this could be. You know, like, I know there are a lot of artists that are coming out with like alter ego concepts, and there has always been that concept that has been there from the very beginning. Like, one that I could probably name the top of my head of is Eminem and Stan, right? But it's a concept that has been in this industry, in art, and it's technically something that any artist is, besides if they have a disorder or not, it just hits close to home, because whoever they are when they express this type of art is a foundation of, I guess it's a foundation of experiences and a front that they can be comfortable in to show and be able to express this type of, to this extremity. And it is like, if you think about it, every artist that goes on stage is an alter ego, sorry, not an ego, but is an alter that is allowed to generate whatever it is on stage. And you know, we do it all the time, dancers and musicians and even painters. But with that being said, I like to generate a lot of my art, Maito especially, from my pain and from my experiences that I had to go through. That's why it's just real. That's why it's just so real. But that's not to say that it's not real for anybody else, right? It is as real as it gets. And you know, like, a lot of the things that I mask as art are the things that I am allowed to show, you know, and a lot of times where I'm not allowed to show are the ones that I have to mask, because that's just the way life is sometimes. You know, you do not want to put everything out there, as you should. But you know, all in all, I do want to say I really appreciate my fans and I respect the shit out of you, because of how intuitive and how compassionate one another are. And you know, that really means a lot, because in today's day and age, so many things are becoming so desensitized, yes. And with that, I'm saying that there are so many bad shit that are happening in this world that are just being posted constantly. And there are just so many things that we are becoming absolutely just completely numb to, that I think growing up in this era now, and people that are just kind of coming to a progression of getting to a heightened sensitiveness of like just being so desensitized to like some of the craziest shit in the world. It sucks to see how much we've lost, how much we have come to, I guess, get out of touch of things. And I just want to bring a bit of realness to us. I do want to bring a sense of like, hey, you know, there are still things that can bring comfort, can bring some type of passion, and are real. And you know, that's not to say all the other shit that are happening in the world are real, but it's sometimes good to focus on the good rather than the bad. There's a lot of power in projection, right? We project. There's a lot of negativeness that is being projected into this world. The more we feed and the more we react to it, the more I feel like it wins. It's just the way it is. 희생은 사랑이 아니고 즐거움으로. 맞아요. And you know, with that being said, art as we know it is also becoming very polarized to the point where it has always had a shelf life. Like, this industry has always placed a product and it has always feed into the stimulus of people. That's what they think sells, and you know, this whole industry has to make money, and people, whoever is at the top notch of that, has to somehow make money as a greedy fuck. But it has really, you will always have a side of people that fight for what's genuine about art, what's genuine about expressions, and therefore what's so genuine about being human. And then you have those that feed into what makes a human into an animal. And what I mean by what makes a human into an animal is what makes their instincts just go completely bat wild, and what makes their behavior feed into really bad habitual things, addictiveness, you name it. So there are things that alter us as human beings. There are things that alter us instinctively, makes us less human, I think, and it makes us more depressed, more sad. We compare a lot, and the more we compare, it kills us, it kills our joy, and it absolutely, I think, ruins a lot of people's mental state. You are enough. You have always been enough. So there's no reason for you to ever think that you need something more than yourself, more than anything that's outside of yourself, to be happy or satisfied. It's just what the world feeds you sometimes that is absolutely crap. And you know, like, when I say this, it's so funny, it's ironic, and sometimes you might think it's contradicting, because I am in the industry and I am doing the very thing that the system asks you to of. But I always say it's the intention, right? It has to be the intention. There can't be just artists that sell out and, you know, fucking do all the shit all, and there has to always be a side of artists that care enough. And through that, I'm sure the people that perceive it, like you, will know the difference. Like, people aren't that dumb. We aren't that dumb. Like, we know when somebody's trying to do this and someone's trying to do that, and someone's trying to understand that, and someone's trying to gauge that. We are all intuitive to a point where we get it, right? So that is essentially what I think. I'm getting a little too deep, but your comments have stopped. So I think I have to leave and I have to rejoin, guys, because my comments do that sometimes. It like freezes for some fucking reason. So let me just quit and I'll rejoin, guys. And we are back. Sorry, the comments freeze sometimes. 엄청 왜 이렇게 빨갛냐? 진짜 I'm so freaking red. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes. Ribbit. So I start ribbiting when I drink tequila. It's quite a lot. Anyway, guys, happy 4-year anniversary once again. Yes, and yes, as I was saying, hola amigos. Yeah, it was just because I couldn't see the comments before, but yeah, as I was saying, I had to really dig down and really reflect on what type of artist I was becoming and I wanted to become, and I know for a fact the type of artist that I am won't really get the recognition and won't really get the I guess you could say the push in the industry as many other artists would. And I think it's not something that I've been troubled with. I think it's just there are so many, well, not so many, there are certain sides that certain artists fall under. But I'll tell you what the merits that I feel like are for the type of art and the type of thing and the type of industry that I feel like I want to be in. It's always going to be with the people that I would want to do it with. And I value the journey more than where I should go and what I should be. The ambition and the idea of success lies really in the moments. And those moments equate to the people that I do it with and the people that I do it for. And I love the whole moment, like I love this whole momentum that I have right now, especially with the team that I have, because I see how much passion they have and how much joy they are feeling by just being in DPR and doing it with me. And I think, sorry, there's a Viva Mexico. Viva Mexico, as somebody told me to say that. But yes, I have a big founding appreciation for the people that I've worked with, even the people that aren't here now. And I think this is the best way that I can find that takes care of my mental health. It's just not to lose my integrity and not to lose my moral values that I have for what I believe is right, what I believe is genuine to the least. You know, there are moments where I think sometimes people or sometimes things request me to lie to the world. I just can't do that. I just have such a hard time understanding that concept. So I will always speak my mind and I'll always tell you how I feel, and I'll always do what I think is right, even if that means it's gonna come in 10 times slower. And did I start my life again? I did start my life again, in fact, but it's only because my live that I was doing before started lagging, and you know, I couldn't see the comments. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say thank you as always, not for anything other than just allow me to reach this point of my life of where I can understand what true appreciation is. I think I'm very fortunate. I think I'm very blessed to have come across this mindset, because I think there are many people that are lost and that aren't fortunate enough to have this mindset. And it's not really like, you hear it all the time. You see the people that have everything in the world. They're successful, they're rich, they got everything, but they're not exactly the happiest person. A lot of people ask me what I define success and what I define true success to be, I guess you could say. And I always say it's gratitude. I always say it's gratitude in the then and now. Because if you aren't really satisfied and you aren't really happy, or are you looking for happiness in your life right now, then yes, you'll have a very hard time even understanding what success is. And then, as somebody has mentioned, like they might ask you, am I happy? I think I am. I think I am most absolutely finding moments to be happy for. And if that doesn't mean I'm happy, then I don't know what is, you know. We find happiness in everything. Happiness is an emotion. And if you think about it, we sometimes overlook it. We take the very thing that makes us feel like we're alive for granted, and that's happiness. And you might be asking like, oh, then what are those moments sometimes? Well, are you looking forward to eating your next ice cream? Or going to your next show? Maybe going to see your best friend, going to talk, or going to that concert, or maybe even having one of your most favorite meals. Not even that. And I say this because I'm fortunate enough to be living in a society that allows me to freely be accepting of that. And you got to understand, there are people in the world that don't have that access and will often battle more things that you can't possibly imagine. And that's where I find gratitude. You know, like I do find that there is so many things to be grateful for that others cannot be. So, you know, like, who am I to sometimes say like, oh, I'm having a hard time. Oh, I'm having I'm having a bad day. When sometimes some people don't even have a day. So, be grateful for who you are. Be grateful for who you're with. Be grateful for everything that has ever come into your life, because the fact that you're still here says a lot. You know, we all come and we all go the same way. And once we're not here, it's that's that. You know, like you don't have to worry about anything else. Why not make the most of your situation at hand? We are allowed to be happy. We are absolutely allowed to be grateful. And more than anything, you are most definitely allowed to be proud of who you are. Because I'll tell you, like, at the end of the day, I mean, there's only one of you, right? There's only one of me. And you know what? If that doesn't mean anything, then shit, I don't know what does, huh? I really don't know what does. So, you know, keep your head up. You've got this far. There's a lot more beautiful things to come in the bad. But that's not to say, what a terrible life, right? Yeah, so, yeah, that's just my, you know, that's just what that's what I've been reflecting on. I've been reflecting on, well, key things. So, I'm scratching my leg. I do want to say, like, I've been keeping these moments and these things I keep telling myself is learn how to love more, but also learn how to accept being loved. Those things are so monumental for someone's growth. Learn how to accept the good, but also learn how to accept the bad, right? Because any moment is a moment that I think makes us who we are, all right? And yeah, I really do hope you're not too hard on yourself. I think as a perfectionist, more times than not, you become a lot more self-destructive. You're your own biggest critic. So yeah, you'll be hard on yourself. But tell me not. It's only because you want to do good for everyone around you. It's because you want to help. And I know. It's because you want to be that person for others that can lean on. You don't want to be baggage. What's the point of unloading onto certain people? And tell me not. Sometimes you think even if you do say something, they won't even understand it. So what is the point? But I'll tell you, people, your friends, and sometimes the people that you will least expect it, are a lot more intuitive and they care a lot more than you think. And because it's something that leaves you for assumption, it won't be fair for you not to try. So, give it a good kick every now and then. You don't have to do it all the time. I value my self-time and I value my moments with myself a lot of the times. But, for the most part, we can't live alone forever. I guess we're in this together. That rhymes. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know my thoughts. And, of course, I'm always going to be going into this deep trail of thoughts and thinking. But it is something that I've always really liked to reflect on, I guess you could say. Sayang. I just see these random words come up. Yeah. I think I always say this, but being kind doesn't cost anything. It really doesn't. It's what we need more of. But I get it. This whole world projects so much unkindness. It projects a lot of things that I think we ultimately feed into. It's not your fault. I do it all the time, right? It's so stimulating. It's never endearing. It's just always stimulating and it's always comparing. But listen, there are good in this world. There are good people. And if you can be one of them, and if you can even remotely feel like you are, then I think that already makes this world a much better place to bear. 보고 싶었어요, 저도. Te amo. Right back at you, love. I am happy to see you. Hello from Spain. You're my meds. Thank you. Do I come in the liquid form or the pill form? Yes, but yes. Isn't it funny? It's quite funny. I find it very funny that it's much more harder to find uniqueness in this world, and yet we're all made up of unique, I guess you could say, molecules. We're all made up of unique substances, and yet we try to seek for something unique. You know what that means? It means we like to bring more value, and we like to put more value in the things that we project, not as the things that we are. So that means we often overlook who we are, and we like to put all our chips and coins into what we make, because that's technically what you think represents you. But I think there's a bit of an obscurity to that, because sometimes what you make might not be from your own kin. It might not be from your own pot, because we get influenced, and We sometimes think other people's opinions matter more than ours. I will say, it's good to listen. It's also good to talk, but it's good to listen. I'm just saying, the substance comes from you. The value lies within you. You can make a million pictures, you can make a million videos, you can make a million songs. And all those songs and all those videos and all those art pieces can go down the toilet one day. But you still have to keep smiling. Because a lot of the value and a lot of that has come from you. Now, of course, you'll be disappointed if you lost a million songs and a million videos. But the point of the matter is, don't underestimate yourself. And of course, most certainly, do not undervalue yourself. I think it's well noteworthy that we designed this world, but we design it the way that we would like it. And there's a lot of responsibility that comes from what you project. So if you keep telling yourself you can't do it, and if you keep telling yourself you're not worth it and you're not good enough, then you've already set the bar for yourself. Yes, so I will say, as hard as it is, as cliche as it might be, just you have to project good, and you have to project. Sometimes the whole fake it till you make it thing is not just a theory. It's an actual therapeutic piece. You do have to tell yourself sometimes. I say this all the time. Some of the most bravest people that you think are just upfront, confident, brave, and are the most scares, are the biggest scaredy cats. Are the biggest scaredy cats. But that's why they project so much strength. And that's what you get. That is what you get inspired by. Right? That is exactly what you get inspired by. You have to fake it till you make it. Right? That doesn't mean you're faking yourself as a person. We have a lot of... Just think of it like this. Does that mean if I fake who I am, does that mean I'm a fake person? No. You are given the tools that you have already. You are trying to shape yourself, and you are chiseling. Let's say chiseling. You're chiseling away to become a better person. You can't do that by being complacent. You can't do that by just sitting there and being absolutely gutted by how bad you think you are. Yeah, and by the way, I'm not bald, ladies and gentlemen. I do have hair. My hair has grown out quite a bit. But I am red because I have been drinking tequila. Anyway, yeah. I love you guys. I do. I promise you, I'm gonna make a absolutely killer album for this next one. I promise you. I'm gonna say, I like to say things out loud because this is what I project, right? I'm teaching you guys about projection. I'm going to make this album into something, a masterpiece. This next album, I'm gonna give it my all. I've already been giving it my all, but I'm gonna make something that will blow your mind away. And I will blow the world away with this. This next album is going to be something special. I feel it. I just feel it. And for the law enthusiasts, it is going to be a big part of the story. As funny as it is, the first time it stirs away from the other side, from Maito, from Sanity, but now you get the real deal. Not to say that Maito and Insanity wasn't the real deal, but you know. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. I do want to maybe play a few more songs. Will the law be compiled to a book someday? Actually, I'm working closely with a good person in our team to make it into something more than a book. We are trying to make this law into something more than a book, actually. So isn't that exciting? The center of it all.